you know, that part is one aspect of Wano. That's like pretty basic stuff. The other stuff, however, the other aspect of Wano that I personally like is, like I said, the I think the restrictions that Oda feels personally about traditionalist Japan. Um, I am watching a completely still. I'm still watching a completely different anime. Give me some time. Yeah, lots of environmentalism in Wano. Obviously, those are the obvious high notes. I'm talking about something different. I'm talking about something entirely different. I'm talking about like what I perceive is Oda's perception of Japanese xenophobia, Oda's perception of like traditionalism in Japan, like the strict honor-based culture of Japan and their lack of interest in like opening up to the rest of the world. I think that is something that he doesn't appreciate. Um, put the Rust category at least, man. Dude, y'all are so fucking annoying. Yes, I'm gonna play Rust later, and when I play Rust, I will put the category to Rust. But of course, I'm not going to change my category to Rust while I'm literally not doing Rust. I'm not gonna do that for a couple hours. So fucking sit in here and wait, and maybe you can learn a thing or two about either the Marxist analysis of One Piece, which you might not give a shit about, or potentially what's going on in the fucking world, which I'll be talking about in a brief moment. Okay, I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. I'm so done with gaming frauds getting everything they want. When have they gotten everything they want? Shut up. Sheltered Rosebud, Jesus Christ. Like, when have they gotten anything they want? This is a fucking stream where I spend 95% of my live time, on camera time, talking about politics. So yeah, I think overall it's phenomenal. The work is great. And like I said, it's just a little convoluted. It's a little annoying. It's a little convoluted. I don't know how else to explain it other than like it gets a little tough to watch. And I'm certain that it's like Toei's fault for the most part. Okay. But the Odin's backstory onwards is some of the best piece. Oda hasn't stopped cooking. Yeah, I just I don't know. Overall I like Wano, but I definitely thought I would like Wano more. Like I definitely thought Wano would be my like unconditional favorite arc because of how big of a fucking otaku I am personally. But yeah. Don't even think too much about it. Egghead is so good and we have so little episodes. It will be done in 3 years, so feel free to chill. Yeah, Wano took 4 years to complete. The final raid goes so hard though. You're gonna hate how long it is though. Yeah, the buildup has been crazy. A lot of people have also said that the end of Wano is like too fast and it leaves much to be desired. Like I've heard criticisms about like not having enough Zoro backstory and stuff like that. There's a lot of trans representation in Wano, which I think is very cool. That's another part of this. There's another aspect of this where like, and now Wano is like obviously in the modern culture war era of content. So I feel like there's, I feel like there is probably going to be more. Like there's literally a conversation around like genuine trans characters. I think there's a couple characters that I can't tell if they're trans or not. There's like the one character that follows. No spoilers. I like I said, I'm literally on the Odin follows Whitebeard arc at this point. Like, and they just met and briefly tussled with Goldie Roger, who, by the way, a lot of Goldie Roger in the Odin backstory, which I think is awesome. Goldie Roger is literally just fucking Luffy with a mustache. You will never convince me that the way that he operates and the way that he looks isn't just adult Luffy with a fucking fat mustache. Straight up. It is literally 1-to-1 verbatim. The way he laughs, the way he smiles, literally 1-to-fucking-1 verbatim. I get that that's the point, but it's like, it's straight up. He also, oh yeah, these are the two characters that are trans. I didn't know who this one was. I couldn't tell who this character was at first. Like I couldn't tell if they were trans, but like this one is like straight up trans. And I think the voice actor for this character in the English version is like a trans person. I think it might be actually a trans person for both the voice actors on the English version. Izu is not trans. I don't know. They like I don't know if he's like a trans man or something. Like they're but no, she's definitely trans. She's 100% trans. She openly says it too in the story. But Izu is not trans. Only Kiku is trans. The other trans character is Yamato. Maybe he just likes the feel of silk. Yeah, I don't know. You watched the OP in dub? No, I have watched it both in dub through extended periods of time and also through subs. Guys, there are 1,000 however many episodes. Okay? Shut the fuck up. There are 1,000 episodes. Yes, I've done both. Suck my fucking dick. I don't want you to complain about like my choices on the matter. I switch in and out sometimes, okay? Yamato literally just identifies as Odin Law. Okay, well, regardless, doesn't matter. But I mean, she is bad as fuck. By the way, like, she's a bad bitch. She's bad as fuck. It's like there's no way Oda ain't woke, dude. We already knew that already. We already knew that he was like super pro trans in general. He is a trans inclusionary radical misogynist, okay? Yamato is a man. Wait, this one is that a fucking fuck? Is that a spoiler? I thought don't they always refer the she her pronouns? I thought she was a trans woman. Wait, are you guys spoiling? Shut the fuck up, chat. God damn it, dude. Okay. I'm fucking moving. Bro, y'all suck. Okay, we're moving on. We're not having this conversation. We already know personally that fucking Oda is obviously pro trans because of Ivankov, because of Bon Clay. He's like all up in that gay shit. In any case, here, this is a Hasanabi head meme, I think. 2-year-old pictures, but yes, people surely care. The controversial Gucci long hair arc was peak. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. With the infamous shirt too. What a top tier pull. I guess Germa is quitting. I call the Yamato discourse. It's the best to ignore because one side always sends death threats. Just let Oda cook and agree with Oda. The hard truth is you never let it reach true peak. What? No, I did. With my hair, I did. It didn't work. Okay. Only click or you've seen Yamato's face. Okay, we're done. Germa's dead. It seems he's dying. He's dead. He's retired. He's retired probably to do serial killing. Like he's just like, listen guys, you should absolutely see me as completely retired. Jerma 985 confirms he's retired to streaming as a career, which is what he wants to do, what he cares about, his true calling, which is serial killing. So that's it. That's all I got on that one. Happy Memorial Day from Trump. Let's go. Let's go. My goat. I do not care about the Greater Idaho movement. You will never get me to care about the Greater Idaho movement. Please stop telling me about the Greater Idaho movement. I want Idaho to be smaller. If you have a make Idaho smaller and just like take a lot of those states in the Midwest and like turn it into one big state movement, then that's fine. I would be on board with that movement, but I don't care about the Greater Idaho movement. Unless the Greater Idaho movement literally is about what I just said, which is just like expand, take Idaho and turn it into like one big state, all of those Midwestern states. Like, I don't really care. That's how I feel about it. And yeah. Okay. We'll do the fucking we'll get to the Israel news. Jesus Christ. Some of you guys are just like, please, just white knuckling through the process. They're like, please get to the Israel shit. I've been waiting for you to talk about Rafah since yesterday. And we're gonna do it. Okay? We're gonna fucking do it. I'm gonna do it. Did you see the J. Cole discourse? No. Can you explain the back shot you posted on IG? Yeah. You know how 39 Doodoo Dav when she's like, oh, I'm not gonna stream today, she'll like post Yeon, her dog, as like punishment. That's what I do as well. If I'm like late going forward, I don't know. Do you guys hate that? I mean, I'll stop, but yeah, no, I just post like shirtless photos now of just looking brolic. I can stop. It seems like you guys want me to stop. Yeah, I'll stop it. My bad. Yeah. Yeah, it's all good. My friend isn't even a Hasanabi head, and she alerted me that there was a back pic on IG. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'll just stop it. It seems like you guys don't want it, so I'll just stop posting shirtless photos. It seems like a lot of people are saying in the chat, like, oh, please stop posting shirtless back photos where you look absolutely fucking brolic, like your lats look stupid. I hate seeing them. I'll just stop it. I do have scoliosis, yes. For that one chatter. Good catch. My like weightlifting has been tremendous for me in helping with that as well. But yeah. How much was a laser hair removal? I've never done it. I'm lucky enough that like I am hairy in my back, but not so hairy that I need laser hair removal. Although I'm not against it, like I would absolutely do it. If I had like a super hairy back, I would definitely do it. You know? I have another one that I think might be a little too slutty, so I just don't know if I should post it. Like, I feel like it's a little bit too much. I'll just show it to you briefly on here, and then I don't know if I should post it, though. I feel like it's too much. I was doing inverted rows, and it's too much, I think. But someone was saying do a lat spread, and that's a lat spread, you know? Posted for Memorial Day, post on Pride. The amount of screenshot and clips that just happened, probably not. I just, it's just, yeah, it's fine. Proof that you can vibe with bears. Bro, after Rust, I don't know if I can vibe with bears. I feel like they keep cooking my ass on Rust. You know what I mean? Thanks for being considerate. You're welcome. In any case, dude is so angry he learns English mid-fight. What?
Shut the fuck up！每次开会都不提前通知，我都快到家了才收到 news， 干嘛？你是要打游击啊
Shut the fuck up. That's awesome. Is it tenses on the right side above the lat? It's not a lat spread, but they look very good. What? Yeah. Anyway. That's not a lat spread. That was just me getting up when I was filming my workout. And I thought my back looked brolic, so I posted it. And anyway, listen. I'm the boys at 237 right now. I'm already at a weight where I basically was posting shirtless pictures back in the day, but I still don't have the abs, you know what I mean? And I think it's maybe because I'm like older, so it's a little bit harder for me to fucking remove the last remaining fat areas. Like there's the stubborn fats, you know what I mean, in your belly area because you're fat. Yes, dude, I'm definitely fat. No, I'm not, but I'm also not shredded, and I wanna basically shred and then post it. I'm 245. I'm trying to get my weight up and build more muscles. You probably have a little less muscle mass. No. Yes and no. But I've been doing hella cardio, so it doesn't really matter. The internet has convinced people that if you're not sub 10% body fat, you're fat. Yeah, that's insane. That's literally not healthy. Like, I mean, it's healthy for some people, but that's not, like, for someone like myself, for me to consistently be at like sub 10% body fat, I would have to literally fucking starve myself. Some people can just do that naturally and there's no problem with that. But I think a lot of people, as someone who has gotten down to like 12% body fat at my lowest, I'm gonna tell you right now, I felt like shit, like absolutely felt like dog shit when I was cutting that much. Just be healthy about it. You know what I mean? Don't develop a eating disorder. I do feel good though, because I'm at a point where like it took so many years at this point. It took like this started off in 2021. I'm literally on my third year of just like recomp and fucking constant cutting and like failing and obviously injuring myself regularly. And now I'm at a very good place, and we're in the pocket, you know? We're in the pocket where this is where you start seeing a lot of the results. This is where you start comparing it to like what it used to look like. Do you feel like you have less injuries? Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. I do a shit ton of cardio. I straight up work out. And then I play basketball, and I don't even like, I'm not, knock on wood, I don't injure myself when I'm doing that, and that's huge. What keeps you so motivated? I mean, this is my life. There is no there's no greater way to do it than just do it, and do it so much and do it so frequently that it becomes a part of your life. It's second nature. I never even think about that. I'm dealing with rotator cuff issues. Yes. Me too. Still. I think you have to love it at some level. I do, but I didn't used to. It's just discipline. And discipline, the thing that people don't tell you is that discipline becomes easy. I think people don't really understand that. It becomes super easy when it becomes second nature. You just have to keep doing it, though. You have to keep doing it consistently without any breaks, any interruptions whatsoever for like a couple weeks. Some people say 21 days. I think that's a pretty solid time frame. But yeah. But let's move on from that. Let's get to the news. Israel bombs Rafah safe zone after global calls for ceasefire, killing 45. When will it stop? Memorial Day weekend reminds cares about vets plus rust skin drops Hank Pecker pacifist King run later. Do we have a blast off meme? Did you see Seth Rogen speak out against Israel? Wait, what? Bro, Seth Rogen has like spoken out against Israel a long ass time ago. Do we have a blast off meme or not? Pacifist, you shot a bear in the face. Bears are chill as fuck. No, dog. Bears are not chill as fucking Russ. What are you talking about? They literally, I tried to befriend a bear in Russ and it killed me. What the hell are you talking about, dude? I can't believe you're out here lying. Are you a bear? Are you typing this as a bear from Rust? Anyway, okay, let me blast off with this. I saw the stream title and I'm gonna lost for words. I hate this world. Yeah. We're gonna get into it. Hasan, I know this is the stupidest question, but when people say Hamas is bad, what should I say? Like, I know they're the lesser evil, but what do I say to sound sane? Like, I know what I'm saying. I was having a conversation with a classmate and she said that they built tunnels under house or whatever. I freeze. Please help a girly out. The point always should be about who is doing the greater evil, who is responsible for the greater evil. Okay? Hamas is a resistance group. It is born out of a desire, an understandable desire for emancipation. Of course, they're going to fucking build tunnels. What the fuck does that mean? Yeah. Israel has tunnels too. The IDF headquarters is literally at a fucking mall next to a goddamn mall. That doesn't mean you can blow up the fucking mall. That wouldn't be valid. You have to look at who has the power to end this conflict, and that certainly is not the resistance groups. It is the violent military apparatus that is an apartheid regime, unjustifiably occupying land where 5 million Palestinians are being dominated. Like, there's two different schools of thought depending on who you're talking to in this circumstance. There's the people, or three different schools of thought. There's the people that are like unconditional support to Hamas. They're the fucking best. I love them. The Red Triangle Andes, which, you know, whatever. It's not the best optics in general. There's also the people like myself who understand, especially in a defensive position, currently in Gaza, what the Al-Qassam brigades are doing are completely righteous, completely just. It is literally their fucking job. They are defending their land. They're defending their people. And therefore, the fuck are we having this conversation about? It's like the murder machine that is absolutely devastating them that is at fault here. It's like the Viet Cong, you know what I mean? You might not agree with all of their tactics, and they certainly could do a number of different things to even a civilian population in southern Vietnam, like death and destruction befell upon them as well. But of course, it's nothing in comparison to the death and destruction that America caused in southern Vietnam. Okay. And then the third category is, I guess, the people that are like, I hate Hamas. Hamas is the worst. Hamas is the enemy. Hamas is bad. Hamas is a terror group. Hamas is a terror group. But also Palestinians are being ruthlessly slaughtered. Everyone on the ceasefire camp basically falls in one of these three different categories on the left, I would say. You know, you just got to figure out where you're at on this. Are you the type of person who's like, Hamas is a terror group, Hamas is bad, Hamas is wrong, Hamas is blah, 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 without like recognizing where Hamas comes from? You haven't blasted off? No, I did. I actually did blast off. I just forgot to post it in the chat. Ultimately, for me, it's like, I wish for a world where the Palestinians had self-determination. You know what I mean? I wish for a world where they could live happily side by side with the people living in Israel proper. They have all the rights. They have all the same liberties. They have, you know, and there's true justice in the world. And in which case, like, there would be no fundamentalist, in my opinion, there would be no fundamentalist perspective from the Palestinian side. Hamas is not popular because of Islamist fundamentalism, and Hamas is no longer as fundamentalist as it once was, regardless, obviously, but it doesn't matter. Hamas is only popular because it's a violent resistance group. They're the only game in town. This is precisely the reason why the DFLP, the PFLP, like, you got fucking Maoist groups and shit working alongside one another that would normally be in contest with one another, normally be in violent armed struggle against one another, as a matter of fact, because the unifying factor here is the abolition of the apartheid. That's it. Yeah, Chinese nationalistic communists united to defeat Japan. True. It's just like, there is a much greater evil that the Palestinian population has to deal with, so they don't have time to do fucking civil disagreements with one another. They don't have time to talk about what the greatest ways of, like, governing oneself would look like, because they're too busy not trying to be fucking destroyed. And in spite of all of that, by the way, here's the other part of it that I find very interesting. The Palestinian population overall is more educated than the Israeli population, a thing that many people never think about. Okay? In spite of all of that, they still have a shit ton of universities, which fucking Israel blew up, obviously, which is gross, disgusting. I can't believe it. And killed a shit ton of their civil society leaders, their academics, and all of this stuff. But overall, like, the Palestinian population is incredibly fucking well read. These are not necessarily people who are like, I would love to live under fucking whatever the imaginations of like Americans are in terms of Sharia law or whatever the fuck, right? Whatever the racist imaginations of a white guy in Iowa is in terms of like how Muslims love to live. I don't think that the Palestinian population that has like a tremendous amount of international connection born out of like basically having millions of people living in diaspora are going to be very on board with like whatever, some kind of like Wahhabish structure, like the one that you see in Saudi Arabia, which surprisingly nobody really cares about. It's just Hamas and their Islamist fundamentalism. That's always an issue when people want to talk about the way that Palestinians should operate. So yeah. The historian Cheese, thank you for the 5-tier-1 gifted subs. We don't like Saudi Arabia. Also, would you call the IDF terrorist? Yes, the Israeli occupying force is a terrorist force, 100%. And I would go so far as, look, my distinction for terrorism, if you want to come across like a legitimate definition, because terrorism obviously is a political construct designated specifically to deny people their habeas corpus, their human rights, basically, deny them the right to a fair trial and whatnot. And considering any kind of like emancipatory force a terror force allows governments, oftentimes settler colonies, or aligned with governments aligned with America, to do whatever kind of fucking untold violence they want to do without any international support for the group of people that are being destroyed. This is precisely the reason why Nelson Mandela was on the terror watch list long after he was out of prison and was the leader of South Africa in a democratically organized society after the abolition of apartheid. He was on the terror watch list until 2008, the American terrorist watch list. 2008. Okay? It's a bit cliche to be like one man's terrorist, another man's freedom fighter, but that is kind of the case. Or at least as long as, America chooses you to be an enemy, then you will most likely end up there. That's why the Houthis were off the terror list, because the Ansar Allah government was seen as like the only game in town. And they were like, oopsie, we did a little bit of a genocide in Yemen that we helped. So I guess we'll take you off the terrorist watch list. Only to be like, actually, fuck that. You guys are trying to stop ships from going up to Israel and doing an impromptu blockade on the Red Sea. We get to do that. You can't do that. You're terrorists again. We're going to blow up your entire fucking country. Oopsie, didn't work. Operation Prosperity Guardian was a massive fucking failure. It seems like you guys are still getting enough. You guys still have a lot more weapons than we thought you would, and we are running out. So my point is, this long and convoluted point that I'm trying to arrive at is that terrorism is a political designation, and the thing that I personally care about, genuinely, that I would consider to be an act of terror, is if you are broadly targeting civilian targets. Okay, you might have a just cause overall, but when you target civilians, okay, women, children, civilians in general, men as well, then yes, that is an act that I would consider an act of terror. This is precisely, there's a reason why I, of course, regularly will say America is the greatest facilitator of terror worldwide, because America deliberately targets civilians with regular frequency. Okay? We have this bullshit rules of engagement metrics that we have, except for one. However, let me just dial it back 1 second. We're talking about America. There's one fucking group that is so much worse than America at their enemy civilian to their enemy combatant to civilian ratio, that like they make America look kind of good. And that country is Israel. Okay? It's crazy when you think about it. No, it's not Russia. It's Israel, bro. It is not Russia. And Russia is pretty bad. Russia, I would say, is like, right up there with America. There's one country that's doing it worse, though, than Russia and the United States of America, and that's Israel. Why? Because it is a fucking occupied territory that they have no international humanitarian law basis to actually destroy as a belligerent occupier. Israel is a belligerent occupier, and therefore every single death and every single building that they demolish in the Gaza Strip is actually completely unjustifiable. Okay? This does not mean that Russia's actions are good. They are, of course, also unjustifiable. Make no mistake. I am not saying that what Russia is doing is not a shit ton of war crimes as well. They are, certainly. But one thing to consider is, like I said, America does a shit ton of war crimes. America does a shit ton of unjustifiable death and destruction. It's just that like the ratio is worse. The ratio is somehow fucking even worse on the Israel front. What? In my honest opinion, Hamas is bad. Hamas is a terror group, but also formed from people being oppressed by Israel. They're definitely bad guys, but Israel are being worse bad guys. Yeah, except there's no fucking international terrorist designation for Israel. You understand? And no, I would not label Hamas as a terrorist organization, especially after 2005. If that's your question. If that's your honest question, I would be of the same mindset of the rest of the fucking planet, with the exception of the Western world, that no, I would not consider them to be they have done acts of terror. This does not mean that they haven't done acts of terror, but it's akin to the IRA, almost one-to-one, direct comparison to the IRA. They are a paramilitary born out of a colonial occupation. They do a lot of violent shit. They do a lot of awful shit. But ultimately, their cause is certainly just. Their methods sometimes are self-destructive, okay? Like blowing up civilian targets in Israel proper, like bus stops and shit. That's just straightforward. That's just straightforward acts of fucking terror, okay? It's just the truth. That's it. A paramilitary organization can engage in acts of terror that will understandably cause people to go, you're a fucking terrorist. It's just that we never consider or compare the acts of a state, an officially ordained designated state, especially a state ally like Israel or the United States of America, to be conducting similar acts. We always do this thing. We always do this thing. We always do this thing where we go, America is a democratic nation. Israel's a democratic nation. How dare the ICC try to fucking institute checks and boundaries on a democratic nation with its own set of standards? And it's like, that's fucking bullshit. You are not a real democracy. You are a theoretical democracy, and you are using that designation as a theoretical democracy to do all of these fucking war crimes without any sort of international scrutiny. That's it. That's fucking it. And this is something that a lot of people don't want to fucking come to terms with. They don't want to come to terms with that. Where they're like, what do you mean? We're democratically doing a genocide. So we have, we have our checks and balances. Okay, well, they're not working. Germany had its fucking democratic organization as well. You know? What are we talking about here? What are we fucking talking about? I'm sure Hasan has spent many minutes condemning the Hamas attack from Rafah hours before Israel attacked Hamas in Rafah. What? Brother, you are literally, and I hope you understand this. I'm saying this with all sincerity. You are a gross, monstrous person. Okay? It has been 35,000 deaths at this point. When will your fucking bloodlust be satiated? When? Is there a moment in time when you will go, you know what? There's a finite amount of fucking dead children, decapitated children, that I personally think is like a little gross. There's got to be a point for you, right? It won't. They're a Nazi. I think so too. It is crazy, man. It's crazy because you want to know why it's crazy? Because he is operating on day one propaganda. We're on day two. Day one propaganda was what he was saying. Even Benjamin Netanyahu said, oops, my bad. Do you understand that? You are to the right of Benjamin motherfucking Netanyahu with your 2008 account. In a truly just world, you would immediately be struck down as a Nazi, okay? This is akin at this point to fucking denying the Holocaust while it's directly happening. But of course, we don't live in that world. We live in a world where you can, as long as it's a state actor aligned with the United States of America, you can say whatever the fuck you want about their enemies. Please stop. They are trolls or Nazi. Please stop wasting your time with them. They just want to derail the stream so you repeat over and over the same thing. I just genuinely